If you could only hold on.
All right, we're going to pan over here to the king of the house. There is Tony. Say hey, Tony, to the people. Tony, your birthday is next week. How old are you going to be? 55? What? Oh my goodness. We always have a little period in time, a couple months, where we share the same age, and now you're going to go ahead and leap on out there in front of me. And then the following week on, what is our anniversary, babe? 29th. The 29th, okay. So it's official. It's the 29th, according to Tony, or it could be the 27th. We'll check the program and see. But just wanted y'all to see Tony. Tony, this is our second episode. How do you feel about it? Are you excited about it? You love telling your story? Yeah, it's an awesome story to tell. So we'll get it in for you. All right, y'all. All right, this is our second episode of Holding It Together. We are all holders, and I'm excited about that. Excited about this channel, this podcast, to not only just share our experience of holding it together as we went through the process, and your dad's 3 months of his journey to healing. But also, there's other stories out there that we're gonna, talk about and share of how people had to hold it together. And what did that look like for, some people? What was their process? For us, for me, I had to depend totally, and solely on Christ. Nothing else. I had nothing else. The only thing that would comfort me is the Word of God. That's what brought me peace. That's what, what calmed me down. And especially hearing some of the diagnoses and the things that your dad was going through, the things that sometimes they didn't want to do because they felt he was too far gone, and fighting for your dad because he didn't have the voice to do that. So we're just going to dig right into it for the second episode. And this time, let's kind of talk about our day-to-day. Like, what did that look like from the day that we take your dad to the hospital? Your dad had been what we thought fighting a cold. He had been taking cold medicine, kind of laying around. Bonita, you feel like going to the store? Bonita, you feel like picking up the kids? Where generally, he like, nah, I got it. I'm going to run out because me and Josh, we're going to run to the gym. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. But he wasn't doing that. And that was cool because I'm like, it's January. You got colds, flu, pneumonia even. This was prior COVID that we know of. But, he was fighting a cold. But it just seemed like the cold medicine wasn't, making him feel any better. And he was so fatigued. And I was like, okay, babe, the cold medicine isn't working. It's time for you to go to the doctor. Mm-hmm. But that night, y'all had went to bed. Me and your dad was probably watching one of our series. And by the time we got upstairs in the bed, it was like, okay, we're going to go to bed. Your dad went to the restroom, and then all of a sudden started this laboring while he was breathing. Like, and I'm like, what is that? Like, are you okay? And your dad was like, yeah, let me just get myself together, because he always got it, he got everything under control. And I'm like, yeah, but this doesn't seem right. It doesn't feel right. You know, you need to go to the doctor. So he's still kind of, I'm going to lay down a little bit and maybe I'll feel better. But when he laid down, it got worse. So by that time, it was morning, because your dad wanted to see if he could make it go away, pray it go away. I was praying and interceding because I knew it wasn't right. And when I said, well, babe, I'll call 911, he said, if you call, I'm not going. Well, there was no point in me calling because he wasn't going to go, period. So I know that because of how he and Josh are, I said, Josh, tell your dad he needs to go to the emergency room. And so Josh got up. Josh said, hey, Dad, you don't sound good. You need to go to the doctor. And of course, Josh can tell the whole process because I really don't remember what your process was like. Getting him to say, okay, I'm going to finally go. So tell me, I'll let you pick up from that point. Like,
yeah, we got a father-son relationship, but I'm basically his friend, bestie.
Right.
All of that.
Right.
Gym partner.
Right.
Since 13, I'm lifting his same weight, so.
Right.
To this day. But with that, we just had a conversation. I was like, when you going to the hospital? Basically. Not even giving him an option.
Right.
I said, when are you?
Exactly. Like he would do you. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm about to go.
So
that's how he did it.
So he said to you, I'm going to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know after that point, but here's the thing. After you got him to say he would go, what did he do? He got in the shower, he shaved, all while
yeah, I didn't even realize.
not feeling well. He literally shaved. Clothes shaver. Like, come on now. So he did all that. He did all of that. And do you remember how cold and icy it had snowed? It was ice down, and he was like, "You can drive again." That hey, people didn't even think I had a license because Tony's like, "I got it." Babe, do you need me to drive? No, I got it. So but he was like, "Nah, babe, you can drive." So all of those little things, I knew he didn't feel well. He just he wasn't gonna let us know how bad he was feeling. So, so we got in a car, drove to the emergency room, driving crazy because I knew he didn't feel good. Pulled up to the emergency room. Antoinette, then you take it over.
Because you and Joshua decided you guys would park the car.
Right.
And then by that time, he was weak.
Mm-hmm.
So I was holding his hand,
Mm-hmm.
and he was leaning on me a little bit to walk in.
Yeah.
Walk up the steps and walk in. Then I gave like the receptionist lady his stuff, his wallet. Because at that point, I don't know, I guess he was just too weak, he didn't think.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know. So yeah, I gave her the information. He's, laboring for breath, all that type of stuff.
Yeah. And so, by the time me and Joshua came up from parking the truck, I don't know, I think, were y'all already back or were y'all sitting?
We were sitting, but they were just calling us back, so you guys came in at the same time.
Because I was going to say, I don't remember y'all necessarily sitting there or y'all being in the back.
Yeah.
So then we all went in the back, and so they started to hook up your dad. And then after a while, it seems like the oxygen was kind of working, and then you guys were right there at the university. So you were like, okay, we're going to go over to the pantry.
Yeah, because they weren't doing anything.
Yeah, they weren't really doing anything, running tests. And so y'all went to the pantry. And so after a point of test, then the nurse did the check in the wrist where they check the oxygen is something to determine whether or not you've had a heart attack. And so she looks at me and she goes, did he have a heart attack? I'm like, not to my knowledge. He's been fighting a cold. And I said, maybe he has a flu or pneumonia. She said either he's had a heart attack or he's having a heart attack. And I'm like, I was so confused. And then I asked your dad, I'm like, do you feel like you've had a heart attack? And he's like, no. And then I called you guys back. I'm like, because then it just seems like something shifted. And the oxygen wasn't necessary. So maybe at that point he was in the midst of a heart attack. The oxygen wasn't working, and I called you guys and said, I think you guys need to come back. And so when you got back in the room, I said, I asked Tony, I said, do you want to tell the kids, what has happened or what is happening? And he said, I think he said no, didn't he?
Yeah, he said
He
no.
said no.
He told us no, and then me and Josh said what? What happened?
Right.
And we're like, really? Why would you say no?
Right. And
Like
I
we
said,
not 12. Or,
exactly. You guys are in college. I know, but in his eyes, y'all are going to be 70 years old, and you'll still be his babies. But we'll get to all of that. But anyway, I said, your dad is having a heart attack. And you guys, I don't even know what y'all said. Do you remember
Yeah,
what
we
you
were just like, what? And we looked at each other.
I was like, yeah, that's crazy.
We were like, what? And then as soon as you guys told us, then the nurses came in, more came in. They're like, you all need to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the time we left, turned the corner, that's when we heard Code Blue. And I knew it was for your dad. I knew it. But what is so weird, I can watch all the 911s and Grey's Anatomy and all those type of shows, and watch them, someone, has a heart attack, dies, colds, and they revive them. For some odd reason, none of that crossed my mind. My only thing that I could hear or know is like, he's gone. And then I'm like, but what am I gonna do? What are we gonna do?
But when they said Cold Blue, they sent us to the back. I was confused about it. Like, what the heck? And it was kind of hesitant in the sense like they can save him, but I'm like, it's my dad. You always can. I just feel like it wasn't his time to leave. Just because based off of things you hear, like what your grandmother say, prophecies from people in church, I'm like, everything he needs to do with what we're supposed to do hasn't been done.
Exactly.
So that's what always kept me.
Yeah, during that time, like you said, I was confused at first because first they just told us he had a heart attack.
Right.
So you're trying to catch up in your mind, like what's going on.
Exactly.
But I didn't think like automatically in my head like, oh, he's not gonna come back or he died. I really didn't think that. Like I know you can like revive a person, so that's.
And I knew too, but
yeah, I know you knew. Yeah,
But you just-
everybody knows.
Exactly.
Yeah, until it's you.
right.
But I didn't still go to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really only until they came in and said, we're working on them.
Exactly.
Well, we really knew, like, oh, okay, they are going
Yeah.
to proceed.
Yeah. But I still didn't imagine, even though they were saying that. I mean, I just prayed.
Yeah, we were just praying
Yeah.
the whole time.
I prayed. Prayed the Lord's will be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what it was for me is because me and your dad have shared.
Yeah, y'all's whole life together. And everything. Because y'all aren't just married like
From
some
kids
married
at church.
couples. But you guys do business together. Y'all do ministry together, work together.
Business.
And at that time, y'all weren't doing business, but y'all were working together. Yeah. It was, I would say, it was still. That's how I felt for me. Was
Yeah.
just still.
Well, like time has stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like it was slow.
Yeah.
To the point where we were sitting down, we thought just for 5 minutes, it'd been 5 hours.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
No.
we literally have went in. It
Early,
was before
like
noon.
7, right?
I
8 o'clock,
remember by
9.
the time they moved your dad, it was midnight.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember
Yeah,
that?
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. And they had moved him over to ICU, and then that was, the beginning of the journey.
Mhm.
Yeah. But the great thing about
And
that,
what was crazy is I remember the cold blue. Then,
Yeah.
like Josh said, from then the time was super slow.
exactly.
And then, like he said, it felt like 5 minutes. They came back, and they were like, "Oh, we've still been working on them." But we didn't realize until after the fact when she came back, it had been 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it took an hour. They worked
Yeah.
on him for an hour. Then
Yeah.
they got his heartbeat back.
Yeah.
45 minutes.
It was 45?
45 minutes,
Oh, okay.
according to the records. Yeah.
Okay.
45 minutes. So it was then, through the night, we still had on the same clothes from earlier that day, all the way through the night. I want to say
Around what, 5, 6?
maybe 5, 6 in the morning, we came home, got a shower, I guess.
Did we take a nap or did we come
No,
back out?
I think we just
Yeah, we
We
came
didn't.
back out.
We didn't take a nap. We
I
took
think
a
we just
shower.
a
and got
shower,
dressed,
got dressed, and went
and
right
then
back
went
out.
back out.
We might. I don't know.
We
I ain't
didn't.
even gonna say yeah. We didn't do anything
Not
else.
the
We
first
didn't-
night.
We
I
didn't eat.
I was gonna say, did we have
No.
coffee? I doubt it.
Only when
think
we were
we did
in
have
the.
coffee to leave, yeah.
We might have. We might have
Really?
had coffee. Yeah.
Of course, y'all like coffee.
We love coffee. So yeah.
I remember we gave my mom pretzels, those thin
Oh
pretzels.
right.
And
because I hadn't
and
eaten.
yeah, she was like, I don't want to eat it.
Yeah.
So we need to eat something.
Yeah. And we literally held up in that ICU room. You remember those couches that led out into a bed?
Mhm.
And I think did we do that the first night?
No, I didn't.
I think
I know
we-
Joshua didn't. You told us to do it. We said
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was rough. It was absolutely, it's no words. No words. We've always taught y'all, we've always talked about being present and making sure we're living and laughing. That's why we laugh still today. We're always laughing and enjoying each other. And I would always say, your life can change, not in a day, but in a moment. And our lives changed. I literally thought we were going to the emergency room. Your dad had pneumonia. He was going to get a breathing treatment, get some antibiotics.
We had planned to go to the mall.
We were going to the mall to buy y'all school clothes. Wasn't it? Or new gym shoes or something.
You're just going to the
Yeah. But our life, that was totally changed. within that second. And surely you couldn't have told me your dad was having a heart attack. Yeah. So that's also a testament for, you know, if you're having aches, pains, if you're diabetic, take that stuff serious. Take care of yourself because your life is important. Johns Hopkins Medicine reports most people think of obesity when they think of cardiovascular disease, but another strong risk factor is age. Your risk of developing cardiovascular disease goes up at the age of 40, but is at its highest at age 70. People with diabetes are 2 to 4 times more likely than others to develop cardiovascular disease. Because the risk is so high, cardiovascular disease remains the most common cause of death in people with diabetes. Y'all young, but it's important for you to take and go to your annual physicals. You gotta know what's going on with your body. So that's a little, you know, a little advice. But yeah, our lives changed and changed forever, you know, within a few moments, within a few hours.
If you could only hold on.
Just you, me now.